Welcome to the Contractor Fight podcast. I am Derek Johnson.
Tim Catroni, good seeing you.
It's always, man, I look forward to this. And I always
Yeah,
say that. I sound like such a dork, but I do. I cherish this one weekly podcast that I get to do with my buddy, Timmy.
yeah. You know why it makes it real easy to come to these things is because it's on my calendar, it's on my schedule.
It's funny
I
how that works, right?
populate, right? I put it on here, and I know that every week at this time that I'm ass in seat looking at my buddy Derek, and we're gonna have a conversation today. Let's talk about something. Well, we'll talk about consultations, and there's a reason why I'm walking into this.
And right before you go into that, and I love this, is one of my favorite subjects, is I just want to say how key communication is, because Tim and I do this. We have it scheduled weekly on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
And Tim and I are so tuned to communicate and how we communicate with our team members, customers, and anybody, that I let him know I was going to be a couple minutes late. And he said, "Hey, are you there?" So we're communicating back and forth. He knows exactly what I'm doing and why I'm a few minutes late. And well, since you're talking about consultation, I was on a sales call doing that. So we're on the same page here. So talk to me about consulting there, Tim.
Okay, well, look, I want you to go first, but I want to tell you what you just said kind of triggered something in my head. Um, I'm on the way to a consultation. I set it up in my phone where it's a reminder to tell me when to leave because I left directly from my
Mm,
house this morning. It was an early
yes.
consultation out
Yes.
in the frickin' like Boston area. It was like hell to get to, but the map said it would take me 1 hour and 24 minutes. So an hour before, hour and a half before, it tells me, "Hey Tim, traffic is heavy. You might want to leave."
I love that.
I'm getting out. I'm on a Mass Turnpike. I'm only into the trip 28, 29, 30 minutes. And now it tells me I still have another hour and 20 minutes to go. I'm like, I'm going to be late. So what do I
Wow.
do? I'm like dead stopped on the Mass Turnpike. We're supposed to be doing 65. And I'm like, I'm going to text the customer. I'm going to communicate with them. Hey, my map says I'm going to be like 20 minutes late. I'm stuck in traffic. Are we still okay to meet? Question mark. Open-ended question. Yes, because she said, "No, my husband can't be here," or "No, it doesn't work for us because we have a kid going into on the school bus, whatever." Then I could whip around, get off the exit to communicate with somebody up front to know what to expect, so they don't say you show up late and say, "Typical contractor, not showing up, not communicating." I'm not going to be that guy. So let's go back to your consultation, your conversation that had us start late today.
Sure. When I set up these meetings, or if James sets these meetings up for me to schedule a phone call,
Hmm.
she sets it up as, "Hey, this phone call is scheduled for today. It was scheduled for 11:30 actually," and I was late. I was late because I had to come back from the garden center, had a couple things to do. But she sets it up. "Hey, this conversation is set up for 11:30, but Derek may reach out to you beforehand, and/or I may reach out to you beforehand, saying, 'Hey, is it possible that we can do this earlier because our previous meeting finished?' Or we may have to text and say, 'Hey, his current meeting has ran over, and I know this is scheduled for 11:30, but it may be closer to 11:45 or 11:50. Are you okay with that?'" And this particular client said, "Yes, I've blocked out this time, but I'm not that busy." Therefore, going back to communication. And speaking of communication, let me vanguard this a little bit. You guys are probably going to hear some construction noise, some saws, some hammering, like what's going on right now,
Yeah.
in the background. And Tim and I had to make the call. Do we do the podcast today? Yes, because this is real stuff and we have real conversations. And I'm having some construction done at my house by Ben and Amy Wright with Center State Craftsman. And so when you hear that noise in the background, that's why.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. These I had, and also to talk about. Well, if you're looking at us on YouTube, you'll see that I'm not wearing a fight shirt, the fight swag, but I got my hat on. The reason is that because I went to a consultation this morning. I told you I went out the Boston way. Um, to talk about getting ready for your consultation, Derek. I
Mm-hmm.
start my prep the day before. I know I'm
Okay.
going to have a consultation the next day because I don't consult every day. I don't go out to meet with people. I grab my clipboard, I look through it, I make sure I have my business cards in, make sure my pen works, make sure I have another pen in my glove box. I'll walk out there, make sure I have my contracts. I'll have more than three contracts with me.
You are so organized. I mean, I feel inferior right now. Holy
He,
crap.
he's got like Derek's got a tablet and a chisel. He's like, whatever I can find on the ground will work as a contract.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
just
no,
show up.
because I know,
Ta-da.
yeah, here I am, sandals and flip flops or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have all my shit because I don't. When I lay my head down at night, I want to know if I get up in the morning. I got my clothes there. I put them on. I'm at my best, brush my teeth, the whole bit, have my coffee, and head out the door. I'm I'm dialed in.
Hey,
I know.
let's talk about this. This is huge, Tim. Like this is why I love having these conversations. And I want to let you guys know it's Tim and I are obviously real contractors, and this is real stuff going on. Yes, we have a podcast that we need to do each week, but I prefer to just it's real stuff. So when you're hearing us, we're just coming off phone calls. We're just coming back from consultations. We're running a business. We're doing stuff. And I think that makes this even better because we're not always having to grab like, oh, what are we possibly going to talk about? It's like, well, how about we just talk about what's happening currently? So that's why we're just having a conversation. And I think it's so amazing that you approach these things pretty much 180 degrees than I do. But we still get the same results. Well, that's not true. I sell way more than you do, but that's okay. This is not a competition.
I'm better looking.
He's
Oh
way better
gosh.
looking. There's no doubt.
So
So
not look
the
at
differences. This is how, this is just how I do. I'm prepared. I know that I got a phone call and I will look at it most of the time, like 2 minutes before I actually get on the call, because that's just how my head works. If I'm too prepared, I'll get in my head, I'll go into analysis paralysis, and I'll make up all these stories in my head. So if I can go into this raw and just have just enough information. And I hardly ever, Tim, and you think this is crazy, I hardly ever read the description that they share with me with those pictures because a lot of times it's just more than I want to read. So how I set it up is like any other type, because I'm on the phone. Like I'm going to work my steps. I'm going to work down the 5 steps of the Shinfu. And I simply start off with, hey, I appreciate you scheduling this call with me. And thank you for your patience. I tend to not apologize because I haven't done anything wrong. So I like to use that. I appreciate your patience. And is this a bad time? Classic, right? And also, I will say, I reviewed your pictures and I know that you gave me a description, but I would really like to be quiet right now and have you describe to me real time how you'd like I would to help. So I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes. What that does is they basically go back over, but it opens up so many other things. And then every now and again, I'll have somebody kind of a smart ass to go, well, I gave you the description. Did you not read it? And I just go, nope.
man. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I it's happened a few times. Like I'll read the description, like you, and I'm the village idiot. How are you hoping I can help you?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, well, I described it to you and I explained it to the girl when I called. I totally get it. I totally get it. And I'm actually looking at it right now. So why don't you tell me what you want to tell me?
Yeah.
Well, like I wrote, I'm like, okay, you want to be snippy. That's okay. We'll see how this
Is
rolls.
this how we're going to start this? You're going to be a
Yep.
great client to work with. Fine.
I know. It's like the first date, get out,
As long as you read
First
my
street corner.
contract, we're okay.
Uh, yeah, but that's good that you have a blank.
No, it's
I just
blank.
want to take this.
It's all blank up here, man.
Yeah, it's a blank spot going on walking in. And I try to be like honestly when I do my calls, it's a blank slate. I'm not thinking anything, but yes, I do look at the photos before. I look at what they have to say. I take what they say and with an ounce just an ounce of weight. It doesn't have any weight to it because I want to hear from them and I want to hear it. I want to hear the tonality, the pain, or the
Exactly.
pleasure that they're having. So
Yeah.
it may be just a
Inflections.
synopsis, third party. I don't care. I don't. I just whatever it is, it really isn't usually the truth.
Yeah, and then
Um,
things change. Like they wrote that at some particular point, maybe in distress, maybe 3 in the morning, maybe in a hurry, and they just wanted to send it off. Like we don't know what's coming from. So I like to hear it fresh because a lot of times things do change, and that's where we just dig into those open-ended questions and allow it to to really share really what's going on now because they're having a different emotion as we're on the phone as they were having when they typed that description in.
Well, yeah, I know. I've written emails like that myself. I was like, shit, what was I thinking? I didn't wrote like that. So I can get that happen to anybody.
Yeah.
But to talk about being true to how your style works, and you don't like. Let me say it. Let me say it the kindest way I possibly can.
No, just say it, dude.
Like you just to fly by the CD pants, just show up and be the guy. And I like to be prepped, so I feel
Yeah.
like I'm ready. And usually I'm always ready. It's just I like to feel better. So I put my look. It's not
It
like
it appears it appeared hang on. You hang on a minute,
okay.
sir. It appears that I'm flying by the seat of my pants. But Tim, you and I've done this forever, and I'm like so engaged when I'm there, and I hear everything going on. and which was kind of fun. And I think Jared posted in a battleground group of a little 5 minute, 5 second video, because I answered the call as Jared's here delivering some material, and Jared is now back in battleground, and he's just listening to me. And that's where I just like I was literally having a conversation with him because he's unloading material and we're talking about the job, and I said, hey, I need to make this phone call. And as soon as I call, I go into a different world, and it's an out of body experience, and I know exactly what to say, when to say it, what not to say, and how to say it, because I have way more than 10,000 hours in sales training. And really what that is communication. So it does appear like very much so me wearing my flip flops and board shorts, and might even have just got off my skateboard and answered the phone. But trust me, I'm locked in.
Yeah, I've seen you. You know, when you have your live calls, and it's like you know that you're focused. You're like your eyes are like shifting left and right, but they're looking through things and not looking at things. I can see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see that. But as far as preparedness, yeah. So you laugh at me saying, "Oh, Timmy's neurotic." Or easily like get the light switch on and off.
I didn't say neurotic at all, and I'm not going to talk about that time that we all landed at the Denver airport, and me and Dempsey were messing with you, and you were so frustrated because you were a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, a lot overwhelmed because you guys just don't know how to use time. It's like I don't understand the watch. There's a time difference. It's like so.
We were all there. We were
So
within
being
50 feet of each other.
oh god, yeah, but you're heckling me. So look back to being true to who you are and being prepared or not prepared or think you prepared or whatever. However you do things is
Yeah.
how you should do them. You want to be prepared, and if you need to get yourself ready a certain way the day before, whatever makes you work for you, do that.
Yeah.
I just prior to this recording, I just did a black belt pretest for our friend Victor.
I listened in.
Yeah. So what was painful to me in that role play is because I'm the one testing.
Did you
I
pass him? Because I had to step out at the last minute.
no, he didn't pass through on a
Okay.
technicality. It
Okay.
was. I love Victor. I think he's going to make an incredible black belt.
Yeah.
He missed on what technicality, and it was on time. The time wasn't
Mm,
talked about, and
mm,
even though it's not a 5 steps, it's the reason to learn to Shimfu, the reason to be good at sales is to save time and to serve people at a higher level.
yeah.
Within this role play, because I'm the coach, I'm helping these people become better. I don't always play the same personality, which it's simple for me to play a DI. It's
You were
extremely
very
hard.
nice on this one, I will say.
I was a CS,
Yeah.
and it was hard, extremely hard not being me. Um,
I could tell.
But here's the thing, like because we train, and last week's Shinfu Tree of Life topic we talked about within the group is a disc profile, knowing who you're talking to, and how they like to be communicated with. Because we're trained, because you and I can do this, we can flip personalities quickly to know who we're talking to and serve them the best we possibly can. Me doing this for this role play was difficult because, first of all, I have to change my personality, which I can do easily enough, but also be attentive to the fact that I'm listening to where he's picking up in the words he's saying, and keeping track of what steps he's hitting or not hitting. So it's a lot of moving parts in my head, and monitoring the chat and all these other things. But being able to flip that switch and be something you're not, it takes time. It takes an incredible. For me, it took a long time to figure that out. Um, And it's not really not being true to yourself; it's being true to the person you're speaking with to meet them where they need to be met
Mm-hmm.
and
It's
heard.
everything. It's everything.
A CS wants details, wants to talk about textures, and just oh god, it's like this. What size pond do you want? Okay, that's 10,000. Send me a check. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. It's like I want to get. I not because I'm inconsiderate. I just don't want to talk about the soft, fluffy, technical stuff. But I do because that's how some people like to be communicated with. They need these details of warranties and amperages and stuff, so we can flip quickly. Um, yeah. So back to consultations, Mister Johnson.
Sure.
Preparedness for consultations, for meeting with people, having say it. What's a consultation?
Experience led conversation provided by a professional to give you usable information to make a buying decision.
That's what a consultation is. Now, there could be a paid consultation, which we all try to get paid for our time, but there's times we go out and meet people because it just makes sense. If there's nothing going on in your schedule, if you think you got a shot, if you think that they're ready to buy, if they tell you, yeah, we just want to get this thing done, or hey, we've talked to a few people and just we know you're our guy, or hey, we looked at that on your website and we saw that's $20,000. We just wanted to do it. And you say like, hey, so you're saying if I went out there and we're looking at the same thing and having the same conversation we're having right now, it's 20,000. You're just going to stroke me a check for a 50% deposit of 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Then I'm
go.
going out there. Then I'm going
Yep.
out. Preparedness for a consultation is like having your hair combed, brush your teeth, shave. Don't smell bad, right?
Brush your
Don't smell
teeth.
like cigarettes. I mean, yeah, you laughed. Put deodorant on.
No, it's a real, yeah. Yeah. It smell good. It's a thing.
Right. So that's where it is today. My shirt. I have a uniform. I have my uniform shirt on. I don't have the TCF swag on because
Get the hat on.
I put the hat on. I like to be representative of the fight when I do podcasts for a few reasons, and it's the same reason why I wear my uniform because I feel like I'm a part of something bigger than myself.
Your
Identify.
mic's covering your logo up so nobody even
Oh,
knew.
sorry, man.
No, there it is. There it is.
You got it. All right. Cool. All right. Um, it's it makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger. It's a
Yeah.
uniform. I represent a team. When when you and I coach, it's like having a
Mm.
cape on. We feel empowered, part of something bigger.
I call it the costume change. I literally do. When I get out of my, if I got my civvies on and I put on my fight stuff to do a podcast, or if I got
Mhm.
my company stuff on, I put on my fight stuff to do a podcast. I literally call it a costume change because I'm getting into a different character, and I have to take myself out of JVI, or I have to take myself out of whatever family friend scenario that I was involved in. And then when I put this on, that's when I talk about like when I'm locked in. I have this alter ego that I said multiple personality. Sorry, multiple alter egos that I do have multiple personalities, but that's part of it. Like you have to get in there and you have to engage. And yes, I did brush my teeth this morning.
Yeah, you laugh about it. For you and I, it's common sense. This is how we live, but not for everybody. An example, and you guys are out there, you're contractors. You live it every day. If you're looking around in your work truck and there's like a coffee can for your ashes, if you're like got paperwork scattered everywhere, if you got shit hanging from your visors and like there's like 2 inches of
Dashboard,
dust on your dashboard,
can't even see out your dash.
candy wrappers, and I mean, come on, guys, we're better than that. If you want to be paid by like a professional, look like one.
Yeah, yeah,
You
be
don't
serious.
right? Just make yourself look like you give a shit. Because people will look at your truck and saying, if he takes care of his own life this way, how is he going to treat the interior of my house or my space?
Mm-hmm.
This alternate ego, I got to go back to because you said I say it really well, but not you're the founder of it. Tell me about your sales hat versus your helper hat.
I mean, it's just that. Like when I put it on, that's I'm a different person, and I go into uh, that state. Like this is when I'm engaging, or it's a podcast, or if I'm just doing consulting over the phone, whatever it is, I get into character, and I need to be that person because I don't need to be the Derek that's just hanging out in his flip flops, having a good time with his boys, and doing whatever because that's not professional. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So you have to parlay that into if that's the case. If it's literally a literal statement of how I do anything is how I do everything, I have to go into a different person, and that person will still do how he does everything.
Right.
So you
Now,
have to be a different person because you can't spread that across the board and just roll in and be that way. Now I'm still my vernacular, my cadence, my tonality, and lexicon, like all of that is the same how I talk to anyone, but I talk about different things.
yeah, there was a point, maybe more than a couple of years ago, where you said like somebody be talking to you and they just look, I just want to get some information, and you say, oh, okay, hold on, let me take my sales hat off, and I'm going to put my helper hat
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's a
Right.
different.
So it's
I
still the
missed that.
same. It's the same thing, but it's actually walk through it because I know it.
Yes. So that's it's okay, Tim. So let's role play this like real quick.
Yep,
So
that's what it is.
Tim, I'm understanding the project a little bit. Is it okay? You know what, Tim? Is it okay if I take my sales hat off for a minute?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you mean take your sales hat off?
I mean, it's really like I want to have an off the record conversation. Is it okay if
Yeah,
we do that?
yeah, sure.
because I feel like I can talk to you like to shoot you straight. And I
Mhm.
feel like if I got my sales hat on, I'm just being a salesperson, and it's just I'm feeling too salesy right now. If I just take this off, can we just have a normal conversation and let me really talk to you about what's going on?
Yeah, dude, I would love that.
Yeah. So just give me your money. Quit talking. Use less
Yeah.
words. Wait
So
a minute. Wait.
no, no, that's
Wrong,
not like
wrong
that.
hat.
Yeah,
Wrong hat.
that's a Catroni hat. You can't wear that. This, but
But
what Derek just did is like, and you guys are like, he didn't. That sounds so stupid. Sounds so phony. It's like, no, it isn't. It
well,
isn't. It
everybody
sounds,
knows what it means. It
yeah,
means that we're about to have a real conversation, that it's
yeah,
not. And
yeah.
so let's jump back into role. So Tim, I've got my sales hat off, and I appreciate, you allowing me to have this off the record conversation, because what you're sharing with me is a lot of information, and I want to make sure that me and my team can show up for this. But in order for us to do that, I need you to give me freedom. I need you to trust me. And what I'm hearing right now is that you're going to be a little bit controlling. And I hope that did not offend you, but we're off the record, so I can say whatever. And I feel like you're going to try to run the project, and I can't have that. I need you to trust me. So, with that, I'm going to put my sales hat back on. And I need you to share with me what that looks like when we're working with you.
I've never seen you put your hat back on.
I don't have
That's
as much hair
incredible.
as I used to.
Yeah. So I guess what I'd like to do is I like to ask people who are listening to try it. To just if you're having a conversation with somebody and you just need to have that weird conversation. Say, well, it would be okay if I
Yeah.
took my sales hat off. It sounds like you're just kind of collecting information. I just don't want to sound salesy. Yeah, sure. And they can literally take your hand and just go like switch hats. It's like because
Yeah.
you're switching personalities. Like, look, tell me what you really want done here. Be true to me and tell
Yeah.
me how much money you're not willing to spend, and I'll respect that.
Yeah.
But I want to
And
help you get what you want.
let's get down like when I'm off the record, it's like let's get down to brass tacks. I use that. Let's get down to brass tacks. Like I can tell right now that you're just gathering information, and I don't want to waste my time coming to see you when you're not even ready to pay the $500 consultation fee. I mean, what I really want is you to give me a 50% deposit, because what I can have, Tim, is it okay if I share with you what I can have when I come out there?
Mm-hmm.
I can't have you say you're going to think about it. I can't. And you got to promise me you're not going to say that. I'm okay with a no. I don't want it, but I'm okay with it. What I really want is a yes. But what you cannot do after this conversation we're having right now, we've talked about money. We've talked about your significant other. We've talked about what's going to happen if I get out there and I see some sort of game changer, and we need to bring up that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about money. I understand what the project is, but I can't have you tell me you're going to think about it. I need you to tell me what's going to happen next when we're having this exact same conversation standing in your space.
Yeah. What this is, because I'm going to recap this a little bit, it's protecting your time, it's protecting their time, and setting the standard of how a consultation happens. Because if you don't set the standard and you don't let them know what the standard is, they make up in their minds what it should be.
It's never good. It's
And it
never
doesn't
good what they
favor
make
us.
up.
It never favors us. It never
Uh-uh.
does. I could think,
Tim, I had a guy just 2 days ago on the phone sharing photos with him. I assignment sold him. He understands exactly what's going on. And I said, okay, there's two ways we can do this. We need to do some paperwork. And everybody understands what paperwork is. He's like, okay, well, I'm ready to move forward. Like, what's next steps? I said, well, that's where I got to send over the paperwork. He said, what's that? I said, I'm going to send you over $500 invoice, and that's for the consulting. And then also, I'm going to send you over the formal quote for request for 50%. So if you're ready to move forward, you already have the paperwork. And what did he do, Tim?
come on over.
He started backing up. Whoa, wait a minute. I got to pay $500 to get you out here. It's like, we don't have to, but that's that's how you're going to get me out there. And I was like, oh wait, I didn't say that if you decide to move forward while I'm there, that this $500 gets credited to the end of the final payment.
Mm. Hope somebody's listening and saying, "What? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
If you wish to give it to
he's
the program, do it."
yeah, he's gonna call me back. But he said, I'm ready to move forward. And when I heard, I believe it. I do believe it. Like, yes, okay, you're ready to move forward. But wait, there's more. So it's that gut check. And I like to use the phrase, I need to send over some paperwork. And then I STFU. Well, what's the paperwork look like? Well, here it is. And I'll go ahead and send it over. And here's the other thing, though, Tim. When he said he's not ready, I said, well, you know what? If you still need to think about it, I apologize, but I'm not going to send you over a formal quote because you're not ready yet. And he's like, well, why? But I need to look at that. I said, yeah, but you're not ready. So if I send over that formal quote, I may not be quoting exactly what you need and your significant other needs. So I'm going to hold on to that, but I'm going to go ahead and send over the $500. And once that $500 credit card fee gets paid, I'm sorry, credit card charge gets paid, that
Mm-hmm.
gets kicked over into our scheduling. And that goes over to James, and she'll schedule for me to come out. But until then, you just let me know when you want me to call you back. And I'm more than happy to put that on my calendar and I'll follow back up with you. And he said, no, it's okay. I'll call you back. So
Yeah.
come on over. I'm not ready to pay $500. And no, don't call me back. I'll call you.
Yeah. I don't want to, I'm not one upping you, but I agree. I get it. This happened to me. I'm ready to
Yeah.
spend 100,000, but when I tell them it's $1,000 for me to come out and look at it, it's like, well, what? I say, yeah, but I'm going to credit you to the program at the end. I'll just put it back to you'll get that back. Oh, okay. Should I send it over? Yeah, send it over. It's still sitting there. Yep. It's a gut check.
Sure.
Some people just that's the yeses. We try to get the three yeses, and there was a counterfeit, all counterfeit. And this gentleman you're talking to may come back around. He may have gotten busy.
Sure.
Life happens,
It's
but
possible.
I'm not. The purpose of this is to be on a level playing field as the prospects. That our time is not going to be wasted because that's Derek. That's all we have is time,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't give that up. I could lose all my money. I could burn all my money. I could lose it in the fire. I could go make more, but when I lose time, I can't get it back. And if you're 20 and 25, it really doesn't matter for you because you got more years ahead of you than you do behind. But I don't.
And this is that side of how do you use your time when you don't go and see someone? And a lot of people listening would be like, well, I'm going to go out there. And I think it's crazy that you guys are losing jobs because you're charging for consulting. And you have to sell like you're unafraid. I have to say, I just have to go into it like I'm going to either get this or not. Because now that I protected my time, which we know is about 3 hours, possibly more, depending on commute, what have you, I have to be diligent in my business to use that time by not going to see someone, which we talked about before. If we've done this for 10 years, we've actually saved 1 year. So we went in the go back machine. So for every 10 years you do this, you gain a year of your life back. So what do I do now? Now I just take advantage of it and I have fun with my family. And if I don't go see someone, I'm going to take that 3 hours and I'm going to go on a nice hike. Once upon a time, when I wasn't going to see people that was never going to hire me in the first place, I worked on my business. I would work on Jobber. I would work on the software to implement all these customer lists that I had a backlog on in like just a notebook. And I would do role plays with people in the group. I would show up on sales calls, sales training calls within the battleground. At that point, it was CSA, and then it was the bridge. So many things over the last 10 years. I would communicate with other people. I would spend time just on my craft in general. So I didn't just go, okay, so if I would have wasted those 3 hours, I'm just going to do, I don't know, I'm very focused. It's like I'm going to work. That's why I have more than 10,000 hours in this process because I take that time that I would have went to see someone that was never going to hire me in the first place. And I work on my craft so that I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I can show up and just go talk to me. I didn't even read your description, didn't even bother. And pictures half the time don't even make a difference anyway.
No, it's a micro
For
commitment.
me, for me, that's just how I work.
Mm. How do you say? He's like, how do you spend your time if you're not going to go out to meet them? Just like the answer is how I choose, how I feel like I want to. If you want to go for
Yeah.
a walk, if you want to get rid of some paperwork, if you want to have a role play or a conversation, or hey, I want to have another cup of coffee in the morning with my wife. It's like that's the beauty of this is like if you're saving time by not investing into somebody who's never going to do business with you, it makes sense to do what you want because life's too short not to. These people, not all people, but most of them, don't understand how valuable a contractor's time is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the fight is. It's like we're
Yeah.
fighting for our time, for our freedom, to make more money, to have a good life, so we can have braces for our kids, to have a retirement fund for ourselves and our employees, to have cash to be able to go out to eat, go on vacations, and to live a good life. And that's, as I'm saying this, I'm in my mind, I see Steve Shinholzer standing there saying these words.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we deserve to have a better life. We deserve the nice things. The people at the country club, like he used to talk about, they used to have nice things. He wanted what they had, and we do have those things now. We
Yeah.
deserve it. And consulting, Derek, yeah, it's a necessary part of what we do. It's what we have to do. Some people don't want to just throw $100,000 and send you a check. They want to actually see you, and they want you to be the same person you are on the phone as you will be in person, and to realize that you're the real deal, and you can make their vision come true. You got to show up, but you go out there only if you got an opportunity to win the sale. I have I have zero opportunity to go out there to win the deal. If I don't go out there, then I'm going out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Do I always charge for consulting? No, no, I don't. I get a sense of it. Derek, if I'm feeling like I get an 80% chance, I'm going for a ride.
Nothing wrong with that. You have time to do it. That's a different, right?
That's it.
This is your role. This is what you do. So yes, you have time.
That's what I do. That's what my spot, on my org chart. That's what I do. I do sales. I do. And is it a cost of doing business? And that's a shitty thing to say. No, it's not a cost of doing business where I waste my time, but it's what I get paid to do, is to talk to people and see if I can help them. If my timeline and money lines up, then we do the project. But sometimes I got to go out there and I got to look at it and I got to play nice and I got to talk to people. And that's what we do. But how you show up to these consultations, how you set the prerequisites, as you say, Derek, you have the conversation about what's going to happen when I get there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Gotta
bringing
know.
paperwork. They got to let them know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had customers before I even learned this to really do this really good. I'm like, this is like $12,000, and the guy puts his scotch down and reaches in his pocket, pull his checkbook out. It's like, okay, who do I make it out to? He was ready,
Yeah.
and I didn't tell him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's like, oh my god, this shit works. Like, yeah, it does work. You get them trained to know this is what's going to happen, and then they follow it because you're the expert. You
Mm-hmm.
do this every day, and they trust that.
Yeah.
I'm Tim,
I'm Derek.
and we will see you all next time.